Welcome back, everyone. As you probably guessed from the title as well as the intro, we are going over this little guy right here. This is the Trijicon RCR. So what is it? Well, it is a pistol mountable, fully enclosed red dot optic. This particular one has a 3.25 MOA dot, and as of right now, that's the only dot size they're offering. I'm assuming that's going to change in the future, just like their RMRs, they're going to offer different sizes, but right now that's all there is for it. And it is the only, as far as I know anyway, American-made, fully enclosed red dot offering. This one also has another trick up its sleeve, if you will, in that it actually mounts on Trijicon RMR footprints. So if you guys have a slide that's been cut for Trijicon RMR, or a plate system that uses the RMR, this will about 90% work with all of those. We'll get into that here in just a second. So it is compatible with the RMR footprint, which is a huge selling point of it. It is a LED optic, so it has a good power source with the CR2032 battery that mounts on top. That's one of the things that a lot of folks liked over the RMR. RMR, of course, has the battery there on the bottom. Let me just drop that out so I don't lose it in the water. But yeah, you'd have to remove your optic in order to change your battery. Now you really only have to change your battery every couple of years or so, but that is something that people didn't like with the RMR. Additionally, RMR, of course, is an open emitter type of optic, whereas this is closed. Does that matter? The answer is going to be, it depends. So for most folks, I would say 98% of people out there, the RMR will work just fine. There's a couple advantages with the fully enclosed optics versus the open emitters. You guys can debate it down below in the comments, but the big ones is that, of course, nothing can get into your emitter because it's enclosed, and that way it can't stop anything from being projected in terms of the image of the dot onto the front window. Now, of course, there still are things that could occlude your rear window that would prevent you from seeing it, but that's very unlikely. There's a couple scenarios where essentially your open emitter dots can be a problem. Number one, if you get any sort of dirt or rain or snow into the back there, the dirt can obscure the dot from being seen, and the rain and the snow, or just moisture in general, can cause flaring or multiple dots to be seen on your window. Obviously, multiple dots on your window is not a good thing. However, that is a very, very rare thing, and has only happened to me once or twice in my years of shooting pistol red dots. So I can't say that it won't happen. I'm just saying it's very rare. The fully enclosed also probably makes it a little bit more durable in the end, simply because we have more surface area to spread the impact out should you drop it, which of course, again, we are going to do here in just a second. We have large buttons on the side, both to increase and decrease the brightness of the dot. You guys should see the different brightness settings here on your screen. And of course, it maintains the same 2 to 5 year battery life that the RMR did. And I've had this one now, again, almost a year now at this point. I've had it set at the brightest point, or at the minimal point, I should say, that it's very visible on the brightest day possible, if that makes sense. So should I have to be out in, the Utah sun and I pull it out on my pistol, I will easily be able to pick up the dot, and the battery is still going strong after a year. So I suspect it will continue going for a long time, even on that setting. I'm sure most of you watching this already know that the Trijicon RMR, the way it's designed, the materials that it's used, basically this piece right here that dips down, that is patented by Trijicon, is one of the most durable pistol mounted systems, period. You can beat the crap out of these. I have multiple drop tests on these. I've never had any issues with losing zero or having the glass cracked. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but it would have to be a pretty extreme scenario. So I suppose what we're gonna do is head back out to the range and try to do some drop tests with this guy here, which in theory should be a little bit stronger, and see if it holds up. Y'all know what time it is. We're gonna drop this thing and see what happens. As much as I don't want to, that said, I think it's actually gonna be completely fine. So we have the Walther PDP Pro here, and 18 round mag. We're gonna just confirm that we are zero to have a target, 10-inch target down at 50 yards. All right, so we are zeroed. So we have a shootsteel.com target here, obviously hardened AR500 steel, and we're gonna do some drops. I'm 6 feet tall for those who are new here, so we're gonna drop it from shoulder height, and See how it does. Ooh. That was a gnarly drop. That was a thud. Definitely hit the optic for sure. Glass looks fine. All right, we're gonna drop it again. Those are some nasty hits, kids. That one kind of messed up the front sight a little bit, but it's still good. Those excess sights are good. Glass looks fine. We're gonna do one more drop test. Gnarly. So we beat the crap out of the front of that optic, but it looks like it is perfectly fine. Let's see. Perfectly zeroed. It's good to go. As all of y'all just saw, it held up very well in the drop test. That, of course, is not the lightest gun either, so that's a lot of weight coming down on it. It did just fine, exactly as I would expect. Trijicon has that little dip in there on the top, which again is reminiscent of their RMR, and it just has more material if you look at it. So I would imagine if the RMR is pretty durable, this one's going to be even more durable, and it lived up to that. Now, with the durability out of the way, let's talk about mounting. So it comes with some capstan screws. Trijicon says that they have a patent on them. I'm not sure what part they patented, but basically they're screws that allow you to mount it in through the side and then screw it down. It comes with this little guide, and I kind of think it's silly, but basically what they want you to do is get your screw tightened down to sort of like where it doesn't move anymore, and then use the attached Allen key that comes with it and move it on this line 4 more than it already essentially stopped at with hand tightening. The reason I think it's a little bit silly is those types of screws, if you're using an Allen key, that thing's gonna bend like crazy, and basically where it bends is kind of where you're gonna have to stop, because if not, you're gonna snap your Allen key before you would over torque your screws. So we initially mounted this up on the PSA dagger, and basically we found out one of the limitations of this optic. So like I think I said in the intro, I think I said it'll work on probably 90%. That is not a scientific number of RMR mounts. It may be higher, it may be lower. But if you do a search, and I'm just gonna save you guys 10 minutes of video time here and not walk through all of them. But if you do a search on like AR15.com and RCR compatible slides and mounts and stuff like that, you guys will see an extensive list. But I know after using it on the PSA, which it will mount to, by the way, it mounts up just fine. The problem with the PSA, the way the slide is cut, it's basically only relying on the screws to prevent the optic from moving back and forth. It does have the recoil bosses right here on the slide present, but they're not a full circle. And from what I found, just in my experience, it did loosen up. Now, we did use Loctite on it as per the instructions rather, and it came loose. I tightened it down, probably another 3 or 4 mags through it, it came loose again. So I think it just has to do with not being able to lock into those lugs there up front. So of course we threw it on a Glock MOS and ran it there, and it worked just fine because it has the full circle lugs on the MOS plate system. And then of course we also mounted it on the Walther PDP Pro that you guys have seen the drop tests and stuff like that on, and we had 0 issues with it at all. Just from reading around, the other more common slide that it's not going to work well with is going to be the Zeb slides. So the Zeb slides apparently don't work with it as well. I'm not sure if it's the same issue, but just know that it's not the fault of the dagger, because the dagger, as you guys watch my video, we ran the RMR itself on there and it ran just fine. It's just this one is RMR footprint, but there's a couple exceptions to it, and I think it has to do with the screw system, so just kind of know that. And with that con out of the way, let's talk about the pros. So number one, it is made in America. There's a lot of people that will buy this because it is the only game in town for fully enclosed American-made pistol mountable optics. If that is you and that's something you value, which I fully understand, then this kind of is your only choice. The good news is it's a great choice. The bad news is it is not cheap. I think the MSRP on these guys is over $800. Right now, the reason I decided to make this video is that these are finally from what I'm seeing online anyway, finally coming in stock. And right now, the cheapest that I've seen on them on the internet is $645, so it is not cheap. Right now, you know, if you look around, you can find an Acro P2 if you want like a quality brand, if you will, and a fully enclosed emitter. You can find those under $600. So this is a premium that you're paying for the American-made product, which is exactly what you'd expect, because workers in Michigan are definitely going to be paid more than workers in the Philippines or China. So I don't want to make it political. You guys can decide what you want down below in the comments. But additionally, I would just say I would make sure that it's going to work with the gun that you are going to put it on, because again, it's almost all, but I can't say all. So just definitely check that out before you actually order it for your gun. Full disclosure, Trijicon did send this out to me. That's why I had it in before it was announced. But they don't get to see this video before anybody else. Nothing like that. I do think it is a great fully enclosed optic. If you're somebody, again, who's looking for what this offers, then I would absolutely recommend it. And I suppose with that, if you guys have any questions on the dot, anything like that, you can always post them down below in the comments section. You can also post them at all my various social media that you guys see on the screen here. Highly recommend you follow me on Twitter and Telegram. That is the best place to get uncensored info, I guess you could say, before the full reviews on YouTube come out. We also talk about other things, just general world politics, if you will, from time to time. And folks seem to like it over there, so definitely check it out. Additionally, if this thing goes on sale, we do have a daily deals email. That email goes out every single day. And if it is in the email, whatever the product is, whether it be optics, ammo, guns, magazines, whatever it is, it's the cheapest I know of anywhere on the internet on that particular day for that particular product, because I've already done the price comparisons for you. So hopefully it saves you guys some money as well as saves you some time. Additionally, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you've done that and you've hit the notification bell and you're not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, make sure you sign up for my email at the website here on your screen. This email goes out once a month, and it has all of the videos since the previous month's email went out, so that way there's no big tech giant censoring your eyes from my content, as tends to happen on many places where I post videos. So definitely sign up for that as well. And with that, guys, we're going to close the video out. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.